There are a lot of forces shaping Metro Vancouver housing market right now, and it's not just what's happening locally. We're watching interest rates, inflation, global conflict in the Middle East, uncertainty in the broader economy, all of which are affecting buyer confidence right now. At the same time, the local numbers are telling us an interesting story about the day-to-day interaction with real estate. So today we're breaking it all down: sales, inventory, pricing, sales to active listing ratio, and what it all means for buyers and sellers heading into the spring market. So let's get into it.
Okay.
In Metro Vancouver, we see that the sales totaled 1,648 in February 2026. It's about 10% down from last year, and we're about 30% below the 10-year average. So normally when we see markets that are heating up, the government steps in. And here we're seeing a market that's cooling down. Do we expect any government intervention in the coming months, weeks, years? What are we hearing on the streets?
Well, the government did just announce something exciting for first-time homebuyers. If you are purchasing a brand new property that is under $1 million, you can receive up to a $50,000 GST credit. So you're looking at you probably paying no GST on your first purchase, as if you're a first-time homebuyer under that certain threshold, and then you get a break on the GST. So, you know, depending on how much you've saved, how much family help you're going to get, that can get you into a beautiful townhome, brand new, in South Surrey, or you know, it can get you into all sorts of condos throughout the Lower Mainland. Let's face it. So yeah, it's an opportunity, but it's not. I don't think it's going to do enough to really spark the market, so to speak.
I think the developers are happy.
Yes, they are.
Because they're, you know, especially in the valley and places like that where there's product that's actually that kind of price. I'm not sure about Vancouver, except for maybe a one-bedroom apartment. But anyway, it'll help someone. So I guess anything's better than nothing.
So we hear sometimes in our office when developers get this big, rebate on GST and taxes, that it's going to make the resale market either, I guess, more affordable, because now if new product is technically a little bit cheaper, resale has to be a little bit cheaper to compete. Do we see that actually happening? Do you think we're going to see that happen? I guess, because it hasn't happened yet.
The problem is there's no GST on used products. So in a way, it doesn't really compute. Do you feel that way, Patti?
Absolutely. I don't. I really don't see the connection. And somebody told me that story the other day, and I still couldn't quite wrap my head around why that was going to help the reseller.
This is how I think it. If you're buying a resale for $900, that's $900 transfer tax on top. And then if you're buying brand new, that'd be $900. It would have been plus GST plus transfer tax. So now it's $45,000 on top.
Yeah, but one's probably a single garage, one's on 3 levels. You know, there's going to be that.
And how does that help the reseller? Sounds like it's competition for the poor individual against the developers to some degree.
Yeah, that's what they're worried about, right?
So some people think that it'll drive the price down of resale.
I guess that's possible then. Yes. Yeah.
We'll find out. Time will tell, right? So when we're talking again about the GST rebates, are we finding that buyers are gearing towards affordability, or they're just waiting right now? Again, interest rates, uncertainty. What are we seeing this past month going into February?
I still think there's a tremendous amount of hesitation. And buyers are waiting, I think.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Jennifer, because listen, this is, you know, unprecedented times. These are tough things that we're watching happening and going on in the world. It's kind of scary for everyone. So making a major decision in your life might be something you put off for a while because of it. Now, it's tough for us to watch because we see opportunity. But
absolutely. Yeah.
We have to balance that with understanding people's hesitation.
That's a very good point. It's a very good point. When we're looking at homes that are newly listed for sale on the MLS, there were 4,734 new homes that hit the market. Interestingly enough, this is actually a negative new home listing month over month. So month over month, we're actually down 8% in newly listed homes. Year over year, we're also down 6% in newly listed homes. But that's telling me the pace at which sellers are coming onto the market. What realtors we like to actually look at is how many homes are actually for sale on the market. And when we're looking at that, we have 13,554 homes in total in Metro Vancouver. So month over month, we're actually up 7%. And then year over year, we're up 6% on the listing front. When we're talking about new listings that are down 6%, why are sellers holding back from listing right now?
I'd say it's
like
the same
price they can get,
or
right?
it's the same. It's the same hesitation.
Yes,
you know, there's a certain degree of fear that exists. I mean, it's funny because there's still big pockets of especially the detached market, where there isn't that much to choose from. There's homes for sale, but I drove by one about 20 minutes ago and thought, who would ever buy that? Like, it was just a nightmare mess, right? It was like the lawn was overgrown and I'm thinking, come on, pick it up, guys. But you know, anyway, I just thought, okay, there's a perfect example of why some of the inventory is showing up but never sells, right? And I think there's as much hesitation. People are nervous. Yeah. And they can't get the price.
And then to further that a little bit more, when we're looking at inventory, it is 37% above the 10-year average. So we're a significantly bump in inventory just from even a few years ago when we were at all-time lows. Are we actually seeing too much supply? Is demand just temporarily paused? Is it not good enough product? Is there just a complete disconnect? Is it everything all at once?
It is a perfect storm.
But we are seeing a great amount of inventory. In fact, we're seeing an amount of inventory that would be normal for this, where we live and kind of the demand, but we just have more hesitation than normal. And, the interesting part, and I think we're probably going to talk about this for the next couple of months, is this is an opportunity. If you have a steady job, if you have built equity into the property you have, and your kids are growing, sell and move up. This is a move up market, and that is an opportunity time. It's also an opportunity huge for first time home buyers. We are seeing prices that we have not seen before. And if those first time home buyers can just get it together and get it in the market and live in it for a while, 5 years plus, they're going to make that great kind of classic Vancouver investment. They need to live somewhere anyway. Why don't they get it in there and start building equity? This is a market of opportunity. So the inventory is okay. We need it. It's great to have a balanced market.
Right, because we've been undersupplied in the market in many areas for many, many years
for those 10 years you're talking about.
Yeah, if I go back, let's go back historically, 1997 to 2001 is exactly what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
And I always say, I've said it 100 times at a listing appointment, anybody that bought between 1997 and 2001 was a genius, because that's where people made money. That's where people, when the market recovered, could look back and say, wow, we've done really well. And that doesn't happen all the time. It takes longer usually. But
yes,
I go back and I look at those numbers and I think, oh my God, it's amazing. But, and that's where we are right now. Maybe not in every segment of the market, Jen, I wouldn't say, but 2-bedroom apartments. Yesterday, I was doing an evaluation and I was so specific, 2-bedroom apartments with only 1 bathroom and in the last, over 20 years old. So I was being really specific. So I narrowed down and didn't get too much information. Sorry. And I asked for active listings and sold 60-day back. There are no sales, 0 in a specific geographical area. And there were 19 listings of that one product, right? And they're all the same. So, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
That's a good segue, because we're going to talk about sales to active listing ratio. And right now for the market as a whole, it's 12.6%. When we are looking at detached, it's 9%. Attached would be 16.6, so like townhouse duplex, and condo being 14.1%. We're talking about that one segment of the market, Patti, that really had no sales and 19 listings. If we zoom out and look at the market as a whole, do we see that this is a balanced market, or the stages, like are we in the middle of a buyer's market right now?
Oh, I think we're in a buyer's market in some segments for sure. Yeah.
Balanced in some, buyer in others. Yeah.
If demand does pick up, because let's say buyers will eventually realize that there is an opportunity there, but listings kind of stay low, like they're elevated now in comparison, but if they stay low, could we see a sudden tightening of inventory?
I don't think so. I think there's
possible, but I agree with Jen.
There's pent up demand, and I think there are sellers that want to come on the market, but they are waiting. So I think if sellers hear that buyers are coming off the market, I think we'll see a few more people throw their ring into the hat to sell in the mid to late spring.
Yeah, because while there's pent up buyer demand, people that want to buy have sitting on the fence, can't make their mind up because they want to make sure they're getting the best deal in the whole wide world. There's also seller pent up demand to move. So if you're a downsizer and you're trying to make a life change, and you've held on now for the last few years because there was nothing to buy, but now there's lots to buy, but the prices are down, it's a tough one, right? Which all comes back to always move, always buy and sell in the market that suits you best for your own personal needs. And don't worry about what it's doing. And don't worry about what it's doing, because it'll all come out in the wash.
Really quickly here, as we're getting to the end, we're talking about prices. They're down about 7% year over year. When we look at the market as a whole, they're almost flat in changing month over month. We know that we're kind of comparing January and February. Now that we're mid-March and we're filming this, are we seeing the bottom forming for Vancouver pricing? Now, keep in mind, I want to say this, keep this one fact in mind. When we're looking at the sales, because sales will drive pricing, the sales to date, we're about 1,020 sales today. That's about 33 a day. If we look a year ago, we were like 2,100 for the whole month of March, and that's 67 a day. So sales are down substantially. So how do we think that's going to manifest in future pricing?
Well, we were told, we've been told over and over, that there may be a further correction. It won't be a big number. Like we were talking when The Economist was on, it was a 1.5% to 2% possibly out till the end of the year, and that seems reasonable because we're not increasing inventory rapidly. It's coming on, but it's very measured. So if that was to change, then it would be different. But again, I don't see it. I don't see anybody in a panic. I don't see anybody certainly some people have to sell, but those that don't are in no hurry to take a low price just to get going.
Absolutely.
Right on. Guys, I think that's a lot of really good information for this month's market update. Are there any last words of wisdom?
Give us a call if you'd like to talk about any of your real estate needs.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Adam.
We'll catch up. You're welcome. We'll catch up next month. And
looking forward to it.
We'll see you again. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
You bet.
Bye-bye.